Welcome to Vintage Homy, where we transform spaces with timeless charm. In today's video, we're diving into the spooky season with 12 thrifted, vintage-inspired Halloween living room decor concepts. Each idea blends eerie elegance with cozy nostalgia, using secondhand treasures to create hauntingly beautiful spaces. From ghostly candelabras to Gothic velvet drapes, we'll show you how to craft a bewitching atmosphere without breaking the bank. Perfect for Halloween enthusiasts and vintage lovers alike, these ideas will inspire your seasonal decor. Stick around until the end for all 12 concepts, and let's get thrifting! Don't forget to like and subscribe for more vintage home inspiration. Imagine a dimly lit living room where a thrifted silver candelabra, slightly tarnished, stands as the centerpiece on a weathered wooden coffee table. The flickering candlelight casts eerie shadows, dancing across faded floral wallpaper. Drape vintage lace table runners, sourced from a local thrift store, to add a ghostly veil effect. Incorporate chipped porcelain vases filled with dried black roses for a touch of Gothic romance. The air feels heavy with mystery, as if the room holds secrets from a bygone era. This setup evokes a haunting yet elegant ambience, perfect for a cozy Halloween evening. Thrifted brass candle holders and a cracked mirror in the background amplify the vintage charm, making the space feel like a forgotten manor. Picture heavy, thrifted velvet curtains in deep burgundy, cascading over tall windows in your living room. These vintage finds, slightly worn, create a moody, Victorian-era vibe. Pair them with a thrifted black lace overlay, pinned loosely to mimic mourning veils. Add a collection of old sepia-toned photo frames, their glass slightly foggy, arranged on a side table. The room feels somber yet sophisticated, as if frozen in a Gothic novel. A thrifted crystal chandelier, missing a few prisms, glimmers faintly, enhancing the eerie elegance. This setup transforms your space into a hauntingly beautiful parlor, perfect for a Halloween gathering with a touch of vintage mystique. Envision a thrifted wooden bookshelf, its paint peeling, filled with dusty, leather-bound books from estate sales. Interspersed are thrifted skull-shaped candle holders, their wax dripping like tears. Add vintage glass bottles, cloudy with age, holding faux cobwebs for a spooky touch. The nook feels like a forgotten library, where ghostly whispers linger. A thrifted oil lamp casts a warm, flickering glow, highlighting the worn textures. This setup creates a cozy yet eerie corner, perfect for curling up with a creepy novel. The mix of intellectual and supernatural vibes makes this a standout Halloween decor piece. Transform your living room with thrifted ceramic pumpkins, painted in muted golds and creams, scattered across a coffee table. Pair them with a vintage quilt, thrifted for its faded autumnal hues, draped over a sofa. Add a few tarnished brass lanterns for a warm glow. The setup feels like a rustic, eerie pumpkin patch indoors, blending cozy and creepy. The pumpkin's chipped paint adds vintage charm, while the quilt's worn texture evokes nostalgia. This inviting yet spooky scene is perfect for a Halloween movie night, with an atmosphere that's both comforting and unsettlingly elegant. Create a haunting gallery wall with thrifted, mismatched mirrors in ornate, tarnished frames. Arrange them asymmetrically on a living room wall, reflecting dim light from a thrifted chandelier. Add faux cobwebs and small black velvet ribbons tied to the frames for a Gothic touch. The mirror's cloudy surfaces seem to hold ghostly reflections, creating an eerie, elegant vibe. The room feels like a portal to another time, both majestic and unsettling. This setup is perfect for a sophisticated Halloween aesthetic, blending vintage charm with a supernatural edge. Picture a thrifted gramophone, its brass horn gleaming faintly, placed on a vintage side table. Surround it with old sheet music, yellowed with age, and a thrifted violin case, slightly cracked. Add a single black candle and a tarnished holder for a ghostly glow. The corner feels like a musician's spirit lingers, playing haunting melodies. The worn textures and dim lighting create a nostalgic, eerie ambience, perfect for a Halloween gathering. This setup blends vintage sophistication with a supernatural chill, making your living room feel like a haunted concert hall. Imagine a thrifted collection of antique clocks, their faces yellowed and hands frozen, arranged on a living room mantel. Mix in small, chipped porcelain figurines and dried ivy for a neglected, eerie feel. The ticking of one still working clock adds a haunting rhythm. The setup feels like time has stopped in a forgotten manner, with a chilling yet elegant vibe. A thrifted velvet runner in deep green beneath the clocks adds Gothic richness. This display creates a captivating Halloween focal point, blending vintage decay with sophisticated spookiness. Envision a thrifted wooden shelf holding an array of vintage apothecary bottles, their labels faded and peeling. Add thrifted brass scales and small, dusty jars filled with faux herbs. A single raven feather rests among the bottles, enhancing the eerie vibe. The shelf feels like a witch's lair, mysterious and slightly unsettling. Dim lighting from a thrifted oil lamp casts long shadows, amplifying the Gothic charm. This setup transforms a living room corner into a bewitching display, perfect for a Halloween aesthetic that's both vintage and magical. Picture a thrifted wooden altar table, its surface scratched, adorned with faded silk flowers in muted purples and blacks. Add thrifted silver candlesticks, their wax dripping messily, and a cracked porcelain urn for a ghostly touch. The setup feels like a forgotten memorial, both solemn and eerie. A thrifted lace doily under the urn adds delicate decay. The room's dim lighting enhances the haunting elegance, making it perfect for a Halloween living room with vintage charm. This altar creates a focal point that's both beautiful and unsettlingly nostalgic. Imagine a thrifted collection of rusty lanterns, their glass panes cloudy, arranged on a living room sideboard. Add dried autumn leaves and faux cobwebs for a neglected, eerie effect. A thrifted wool throw in deep charcoal drapes nearby, adding cozy texture. The lantern's faint glow creates a warm yet spooky ambience, like an abandoned cabin. This setup feels both inviting and haunting, perfect for a Halloween living room with vintage charm. The mix of rustic and Gothic elements makes it a versatile decor piece for the season. Picture a thrifted tapestry, its colors faded to eerie greens and grays, hung as a living room focal point. Pair it with thrifted brass sconces, their candles dripping wax, for a Gothic glow. Add a small, chipped wooden table with a vintage skull ornament. The tapestry's worn threads create a ghostly, medieval vibe, as if it holds ancient secrets. The room feels both grand and haunting, perfect for a Halloween setup with vintage elegance. This concept transforms a plain wall into a captivating, eerie masterpiece. Envision a thrifted velvet sofa in deep navy, adorned with thrifted silk cushions in charcoal and burgundy. Add a vintage rug, its patterns faded, and a thrifted crystal decanter on a side table for a touch of elegance. The room feels like a midnight seance, both luxurious and eerie. A thrifted silver tray with faux cobwebs adds a spooky twist. This setup creates a cozy yet haunting lounge, perfect for a Halloween gathering with vintage sophistication. The rich textures and dim lighting make it a standout decor concept. That's all the ideas for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more ideas like this.